on. All right, we are recording. Welcome, welcome, friends. I called this back to school wellness, and that's exactly what it is. And I've got I've got a little treat for you because I listened to a class this week by Courtney Kreitz. She's amazing. If you don't know her, she's absolutely amazing. But uh, her class was entitled Healthy Kids, Peaceful Life. And I really like that, right? Because when our kids are healthy, there's peace in the house, and we want peace. We want peace above all else. So that's a big thrust of what I'm going to talk about tonight too. All right. So the first thing is that it's all about us, but not really. But we're so involved in how our kids respond to things and how our kids thrive. There's a lot on us. And your kids are going to respond to sickness and to their health the way that you do to your health, right? So the energy in their body is going to match yours. And that's going to be a theme throughout tonight. And we know this. So if you're freaking out every time they sneeze or every time something happens, guess what? They're going to freak out every time something happens. And you know what happens when they freak out? Their immune system is weakened. So we don't what the goal of all of this is healthy immune systems for all. Right? That's what we want. So much of sickness is just revving up that immune system, right? So that's kind of what we're going to focus on in this class, is really focusing on what we do before we get sick, how we cannot get sick and stay healthy. There's lots of things that I can suggest for if you're dealing with stuff, but that's for another class. We're really going to work on protecting and strengthening our immune system and what we can do. So another thing, as a parent, consistent nourishment matters. And by that, what I mean is, we have so many voices as parents, as adults in our lives that are coming into us, especially when we have to make the big decisions about our kids. We have experts, we have doctors, we have people we watch on TV, we have our friends who have been there, done that. We have all of these voices coming in, and some are saying, do it this way. Others are saying, do it that way. And how do you know who to listen to? Right? It's really, really challenging. And you're busy. You're busy. You don't have time to be doing all of the research and all of this stuff. So what we all need is the easy button. And that's what I'm here to talk about, are the easy buttons. Okay. So let's talk about some things that kids can do, or you can help the kids do, just to start their day right. How do we start our day right? First of all, exposing and re-exposing to kids is crucial. Exposing and re-exposing. You're going to have to re-expose. The first time, the second time, the third time that you introduce a child to new things, it's very unlikely that they're going to ignore you and they're going to say no and they're going to hate it, right? We're programmed to do that. So like, for example, just ignore it. When they say, no, I don't like it. Okay. Okay. The end, right? Just ignore it. And then, so when you're saying it, try this, and they say, oh, I don't like it. 3 days later, say, try this. And it's the same thing. Keep re-exposing it. Don't give up, but don't argue either, right? Honor their truth, but realize that all of us are designed by nature to push against something that is new and unfamiliar, right? It's our survival instinct. So don't fight that. So if you're trying to introduce a new habit, a new food, a new something, and they resist it, allow that, give it space, and reintroduce it at another time. And what's really important is to explain to them why their body's going to love this. So, tell them that it's good for them. it will help to keep their body strong. It will help to keep them from missing birthday parties, right? The next time they get invited, because they will be healthy. This is why it's important to try these things. And you might also want to tell them, did you know that your body is designed to take a few times to learn something new? So, let's see what happens next time, right? Let's try it again in a little bit and make them a part of this discovery process. So when you're inviting them into this process, and you really have to sell them on things. We can't be dictators, right? Believe me, I've tried it. I have 4 kids. They're all grown. I know that there have been times, and there were times where I insisted. I just insisted, right? Do it. You just do it. Why? Because I say it. Do it, right? Doesn't really work, at least not for long term. We've got to show our kids the value in what we're trying to teach them. We've got to make it important to them. If we make them do things, if we make them eat things, if we make them try new things, they're just going to follow our rules and do it because we're saying to do it, right? So when they grow up, guess what they're going to do? Toss it all out. I don't have to do that anymore. Not under their roof. They're just going to throw it away because they don't know why you told them to do it in the beginning. They were just doing it because you told them to do it. So the why and helping them be part of that education is so important. Helping them to understand and get excited about helping themselves and learning about their bodies and making sure they know things. So as they grow, they'll make their own decisions. When they grow up, they're going to make their own decisions based on that knowledge. They will have knowledge on their own to make their decisions. So this is something I'm super passionate about. I'm very passionate about food and nourishment. But we need to connect. We need to, as adults, as humans, but especially with our kids, we need to connect how they feel with what they eat. There's a connection. And so often, especially us, I mean, I've just learned it like in the past 10 years. I didn't know. I would go to a birthday party, eat cake, candy, all that, and just wonder why I was so tired and wanted to go to sleep, or wonder why I was so wired and I couldn't go to sleep, right? Food, food. So we need to understand that our bodies, and we need to make conscientious, intentional decisions. Everything that we're doing and we hope to share with our kids has to be intentional. It's not a fly by night decision, right? We are making informed, knowledgeable decisions. So I know how high sugar, high processed foods make it hard for me to think. I get fog brain, right? And sometimes my stomach hurts afterwards. Oh, that's related to what I just ate. Oh, so maybe next time, if I have a test coming up, I might remember that I got brain fog. So I might not eat that right before a test, right? So the connection is so important for them to understand at an early age. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some products now. So you might want to take some notes. Ningxia Red is our antioxidant drink. It is amazing. All you need is a couple of ounces a day, and this goes for kids too. Kids ages 1.5 years and older can drink Ningxia Red. It's a yummy berry. It's made with the Ningxia wolfberry, which is like the goji berry, and it's all fruit juice. There's no sugar. There's nothing added. It's a whole food supplement. It's nutrient rich, and it helps their little bodies get into them in 2 ounces of liquid what it would take pounds of produce to get in them to get all those vitamins, right? So instead of trying to feed them like 20 pounds of broccoli and carrots, I mean, you still want them to eat that. Yes, yes, yes. And blueberries and all that. It's just 2 ounces a day sets them up for the day. When you send them to school or when you send yourself to work, that you're going to have all your body needs, all the antioxidants that their little bodies need and that we need for the day. So that's the first thing. Okay, we have a whole line called Kid Sense, made for kids, right? So One of the products that's great first thing in the morning is our Kids Sense Mighty Bites. It's a supplement and it's like a multivitamin for kids ages 4 to 12. And I say 12 like that because I love it. I take so many supplements, you guys, that my pill, well, look, here, I still have some left over from today I haven't taken. Like these are just some of them. So, and I don't enjoy taking pills. So anything that I can take that I can chew, I'm like, yeah. So sometimes instead of taking my adult multivitamin, I will take theirs. It's so good. This is what it looks like. Okay. And the dosage is 4. It's very cherry berry, like it's a very fruity thing. It tastes so good. It's a chewable multivitamin. It's a full spectrum vitamin. It has vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients from a whole food source. And once they're 12, if they want to take the master formula, which is the adult multivitamin, they can, or they can just continue taking that. Depends like how they handle swallowing capsules, right? But I love that. Okay, and Multizyme. I don't have Multizyme. No, I don't have Multizyme. But Multizyme is our vegetarian chewable enzyme. Adults can take it too. I love to take it. But these enzymes naturally occur in our body and support and assist the digestive needs of growing bodies and the normal digestion of foods. So, you guys, we are an enzyme depleted people, right? We are so depleted with our enzymes. You know why? Because nowadays there's so far between when the foods are picked from the ground and the time that we eat them. And they just lose all their enzymes. They lose all of the good stuff. And so many processed foods don't even have enzymes. So there is such a growing need to supplement enzymes in our diets. Digestion support is so important. So even when you're eating good foods, you really have to take enzymes in order to get the nutrition out of the foods. Some kids eat a ton of food, right? They eat so much, but their bodies are still starved for nutrients. This, like, the effects are like our brains are starved. And some kids are bloated with food. They eat a lot of food, but it's empty food. So there's no nutrients and there's no enzymes. Or you could be eating the food, but if you're not taking the enzymes, you need the enzymes to get the most out of the food. So that helps. We all need a digestive enzyme. It just helps everything move a lot easier. So supplements, depending on where you get them, some supplements can have fillers in them too. So you've got to be careful, because if it has fillers in it, then it's going to actually stop the result of the enzyme, and it's not going to help you digest your food. So of course I promote Young Living. Young Living is everything is natural. It's been tested 1,000 times, and we could go into that in another class. But just be sure that you know what's in those supplements. Okay. We're going to get back to some more products, but at first, let's talk about emotions for a second. We're talking about how to make our kids have a really successful year at school. Peaceful kids. We want peaceful kids, right? Emotions are one of the most important pieces in our kids' health. It's so important. It's so overlooked. We just don't even think about it. We're so used to going to the doctors, and the doctors, take all the stats, right? The weight and the height and the blood pressure. Those are all super important. I'm not negating them, but we also need to look at our emotional health. That's not as easy to measure. So every day, these kids, especially the younger, well, no, I take that back. Every kid that goes to school is rough. Do you remember school? I remember school. It's hard. Every day, these kids are having new experiences. So they're feeling new emotions that they've never had before. There's new things. There's a lot emotional processing that goes on a day-to-day basis. That's a lot for a kid to process. And On top of that, when they're kids, they struggle to verbalize what they're feeling. They don't have the communication tools. They don't have the words. They don't have the processing. They're feeling all these feelings, but they don't know what they are. They don't know how to express them. So this is so important. That can lead to a lot of frustration. It can lead to a lot of physical issues. So as parents, well, the best thing we can do is provide for them a safe place for them to share and to be heard. It's really to listen and be heard and release emotions in a healthy way. Not trying to make everything perfect, just giving them things to think about, giving them foods that are nutritious to their body so that their brains are working correctly, their heart is working correctly. Asking them questions like, how does this make you feel? How did that make you feel when Johnny said that to you? Right? Asking that question, there's already an assumption there that they're having a feeling. You're already acknowledging there is a feeling involved in everything. Instead of saying, so do you feel something? Like, how do you feel anything? Yes, of course you feel something. Everyone feels something for everything. So it's a given. So let's just acknowledge that. Give them space to say, yeah, I did feel something and I don't really know what it is. It's so healthy for them to try to work through this communication and learning how to speak whatever it is that they're feeling. Now, this is the fun part that I love because why we're all here and what I do. Essential oils can play such a big role in emotional support. It's amazing. So the sense of smell is the only sense that bypasses our conscious regulation, interception, and it moves straight to the cortex of the brain, goes to work. That's what happens when we smell something. So subconsciously, we don't have to be conscious of it. Smells carry and send messages to the body about our well-being and about memories or about danger, anything, without requiring us to figure it out first. Think about this. I'm getting very emotional thinking about it because this is perfect for kids and for us when we can't find the words to express our feelings. Guess what? We don't need to. We can smell an oil, and an oil can bring us to a peaceful, calm state without us trying to figure out, gee, I wonder what I'm feeling. Gee, I wonder how I can get through this. Gee, no, we don't have to process all that. We just sniff. We smell. We allow the oil to do its work, and it can change so many things up here. You can actually reset memories. You can change your feelings attached to past memories by inhaling these oils. I know that sounds woo-woo, but I'm telling you, it's true. It's amazing. So everyone is going to use something. Everyone's going to use a tool. You and I use tools. Everyone uses a tool to get through things, right? To be dependent on something. We need to teach our kids what to reach for. They're watching you. What are you reaching for? We can be an example to them. Kids watch. If we reach for more over-the-counter prescriptions when we're just, having a little headache, or when we get a cut finger and we want all the pain to go away, and we just have a little sniffle, and just if we're just totally medicating, or if we're drinking to get to not feel things, or if we're overeating to not feel things, or if we're going on a shopping spree, you name it, you know what we do. We do things. We all use tools. So let's teach them healthy tools, right? Teach children to reach for something that's going to help them in the long term, that'll help them regulate in really, really healthy ways. Give them a minute to calm themselves. Give them we're going to talk about some oils. Okay, let's talk about some oils. First of all, the nature of breathing in oils is breath. And we all know that breath is essential. Our breath is essential to regulating our nervous system, to regulating our emotions, right? So just the deep breathing itself is so helpful. Okay. Deep breathing can help you feel confident. And listen, when it comes to oils, more is not necessarily better. I tend to be a little heavy-handed myself, but it is so not necessary. One drop is all you need. And especially with kids, you might want to dilute depending on how young the child is. The best thing that I can tell you with children, especially if you're starting, is to put it on their feet because their feet have the most pores, the biggest pores. So it goes right into your body, goes into your, when you apply essential oils to your skin, they touch and they go to every cell in your body within 3 minutes. They've gone because the nature of essential oils is that they're teeny, 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 tiny. They're so tiny, they go through the skin, they go through things. They're able to access quicker. That's why, in a lot of ways, if you can use oils instead of medication, sometimes, right? It's quicker. You will know within 3 minutes, usually, if the oil is going to help you. It's that fast. It's that fast. So, and here's the fun thing. When you're administering an oil to your child, if you are putting it on your hands or, you're even giving it to them, guess what? It's helping you too. It's helping you too. So you're putting them on yourself too. You're getting calm with them. You're getting focused with them. You're releasing anger with them. You are the gauge for your child. Again, you are the gauge. They are looking to you. They feel your energy. Your emotional regulation cues their emotional regulation. The oils do exactly what is needed. The oils know what to do. We never have to tell them. The oils do exactly what they need to do. Helping both of you together, like when we're doing the oils with our kids, it's such a beautiful, beautiful experience because what's neat is that you both need this. You both, it's not just here, you look mad. Why don't you take this because you're feeling angry and you need this? No. Hey, let's go. Let's go sniff some release oil and just get rid of that anger together. I'm feeling a little angry too. Let's do this together, okay? All right. It's a joint experience. What can be more beautiful than you and your kid having this beautiful emotional experience together? And then they're not isolated. And then emotions aren't bad because you have them too, right? You're doing this together. Instead of feeling weak or less than, they're feeling empowered. And so are you. They're doing this with you. So since I talked about release, let's talk about release. This is a lovely, lovely blend that we have. People a lot of times don't think of this as a kid oil. It's not a kid oil, it's just an oil. But this is so helpful. And it's very mild. It's so great. It's so great in helping to release anything, to release anger, to release tension, to release and let go of unmet expectations, to release anger, to release anything. So this is lovely. Again, bottoms of their feet, put it in your palm, you inhale, they inhale. Another way that I like to use release is right on your liver, because that's where we hold our anger. And a lot of times we need to release the anger before we release anything else, right? So this is a great oil for emotions and for kids. Another one is joy. I don't have it right here. I've got tons of it, but just not right here. Joy, you can guess what joy is for, right? I love the way that Gary Young, our founder, named his oils. You kind of know what they're for. So joy, listen, if a day's not going well, you know those times when you come home and you feel like the energy in the house, like everyone is like on edge, get the joy out. And if you're not using your diffuser to dispel everyone's energy in the house or in the room, you're missing out on something really great. A diffuser can change everyone within the space of the diffuser. and they don't have to know it. So if your spouse or another sibling or someone else is in there and they're acting out, but they haven't asked for any help, you can just diffuse joy and they'll get it anyway. And they won't even know it. And they'll start feeling better. They'll just start feeling better. So the diffuser really is a great way to hit the reset button because it resets the energy in the entire room. And when the whole household's off, just stop, reset. Okay, another really, and I don't have it here either. I just grabbed some oils because we're talking about so many oils, is frankincense, right? All of us have heard of frankincense. It's been around forever. It's such a sacred, marvelous, honored, respected oil. It's so powerful. It's very spiritual, but it's very grounding. And the way that I like to use it for myself and for kids is when there's a lot going on, scattered, can't focus, feel like overwhelmed. Get the frankincense out. Ground. Get your feet on the ground, right? It's in, and speaking of feet on the ground, let's just talk about kids for a minute and why these oils are so important for them, and another way that we can support them in their school days. Kids need to move, right? Kids need to go outside. So do we. But kids need to be outside. They need to be barefoot. They need to be on the ground and in the grass and playing. They require a lot of physical things to stay grounded. In order for kids to be grounded, they need to be active, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but not, right? So in today's world, where we're so stagnant in front of the computer and we're doing so much more online, it's hard for kids to get as much activity as they need. So that's one thing. One, encourage the activity, but also realize and be in tune with the fact they might need an outlet, and their body might be frustrated because they haven't had that. So I just learned this. I love this. That's why they act out. That's why a lot of kids act out. They call it acting out because they haven't had a chance to get it out of their body yet. Their body hasn't gotten it out yet. So they act it out. The body's trying to connect with the brain. They need to run and climb and crawl and upside down. They need to go upside down. This made me feel so good when I learned this because my daughter Christy lived half of her life upside down. I was like, why is she always standing on her head? She was always doing cartwheels. She was always, if there was a wall, she was doing a headstand against the wall. She always was upside down. I was like, very interesting. And you know what? That made it very hard for her in school. If you can't be doing cartwheels and going upside down on walls in school, it's not looked upon lightly by the teacher, right? So she got very frustrated sitting in a classroom. And lots of our kids these days are like that. So we've got to realize that and give them ways to cope with all that. There's a really, okay, and stress away. I don't have that here either, but stress away, guess what that's for? Oh yeah, stress, get it away, right? Stress away. It's a blend. It's lovely. It smells like lime and coconut. And it's just a deep breathe. I like to think of it as, it almost feels like going to an exclusive island. It feels like I'm going on vacation with that coconut and lime and just thinking of being on the water. It's very relaxing. A lot of people like to put in their diffuser before they go to sleep. That's another thing we'll talk about is bedtime. But Courtney Kreitz, whose class I listened to, she told a story, her own personal story, and I wanted to tell it to you because I love this because it tells you so much about how kids respond to things and how we respond as adults, and sometimes we need to think like we're a kid, right? So her kid got into a big ant bed. Ant bites all over, right? And she was new at oils and she wasn't really sure what to do. So he came in crying, Mommy, help. And her first thing was, okay, what oils? I read about this. I think I'm supposed to put purification on it. I think I'm supposed to put lavender. I think that'll work. So she's getting all this. And her son just goes, stress away. Or he points to the green bottle. I don't know if he could even say stress away. He points to the green bottle of stress away. And he just pours it all over himself. And within a second, he's calmed down. And she realized then she was trying to fix his physical body. But what he needed help with first was his emotions. He needed to calm down, and then he could deal with his body. And I just think that's beautiful because he knew what the oil worked, the oil knew what it had to do, and it calmed him down so that then they could go ahead and put maybe something else on the skin to get rid of the redness, to get rid of the itch or the sting or the pain or whatever, right? But I just love that. The peace that these oils can bring is amazing. We have the tools, guys. We have the tools. It's so great. So let's talk about skin for a minute. Skin can really be a great indicator, a great peek into what is going on with our bodies. So we need to pay attention to our skin. Is it clean or is it a volcano? Right? A volcano is crying for help. When our skin, and I don't literally mean volcano, you know what I mean? Like when there's something going on with your skin, it is crying for help. We need to pay attention to our skin. It talks to us. So society likes to silence the skin. Just put something over it, cover it up, make it go away, make the outside external pimples, rash, sores, make them go away. But why did they come in the first place? That's what we've got to deal with, right? Our skin is an indicator. We need to listen to it. And Courtney, again, she loves to say that a lot of times it's like if you're watching a crime, you go after the victim. That's not what we do, right? When we're watching, we don't want to go after the victim. We want to help the victim. But with our skin, the skin is the victim. The skin is the victim. The pimple, the sore, the rash, whatever, that's what we need to go after, not the poor skin who's the victim, right? So one way that we can do this is just watching the toxins in your home. And that's a whole other class. I'm not going to get into that. But you guys, it is so, so important that you know what you're putting on your skin, what is going in your body, your cleaning products, your laundry detergent. Please promise me you're not going to use any dryer sheets. Promise me right now. Please just don't do that. You can go look it up, read all about it, but that is one of the worst things that we can do for our bodies. The air fresheners in our sockets and stuff. Anything that says fragrance on it is a chemical. Fragrance equals chemical. When you put the chemicals on your body, in your body, it's going to create havoc. Our body was not meant to deal with chemicals. When we put chemicals in our body goes, what is this? And it has some sort of reaction. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be whatever, but it's going to have a reaction because it's not built to be friendly to chemicals. So we have a whole Thieves line. Yes, I said Thieves. That's the name of an oil blend that we carry. And it's so great for boosting the immune system that we actually have a whole line of products. We have a Thieves cleaner that is a natural cleaner, and you can use it for everything under your kitchen sink. You can throw everything else out. It turns into everything. We have Thieves hand sanitizer. How many times a day do we use hand sanitizers? Especially now, right? The Thieves hand sanitizer is 99.9% kills bacteria, just like your best, I won't say the brand name, but just like all the others, but it doesn't have any drying agent in it. So those of you, I know someone here tonight who probably is in a profession where they need to always be keeping their hands clean and sanitized. And, I bet after a while that takes a toll, like your hands get dry. Your hands can even start hurting because it's so drying. So anyway, that's another class, but just watch what you're putting on in your body, your personal care products, your shampoos, your soaps. All of that is important. It affects your skin. And when your skin is crying, a lot of the rest of your body is crying. And that can affect kids' days. Sum that up. Okay. Nutrition, we've kind of talked about that, but super important to know what's going in the processed foods. All foods have energy, all foods have frequency. In order to keep your kids' spirits up and be able to have a healthy immune system, we need to keep the energy flowing high. So just watch what they're eating. They do need to start their day with some nutrition, some protein, some good protein, and some healthy fats. So just be very aware of what you're feeding them. We do have a great protein powder that's really good if you're in a pinch, but just be careful, and lots of water. You know that we need to stay hydrated. That's so important. When we get dehydrated, our immune system is compromised, and we can fall under the wellness line. And one thing that she suggests, in order to help your kids want to drink water, get them some fun cups that they just use for the water. And they love those water cups, or they love their water bottles, right? And fill them up. You can start every day with water. You should, like that's the first thing that should go in your mouth. Build a relationship with water, knowing that water is life-giving. Again, here comes in what we said at the beginning, giving them knowledge as to why. Why are we drinking water? Why is that important? Your body needs it. Your body is mostly water. And when it's depleted, it doesn't function and things shut down. So we need to keep it lubricated, and we need to keep it wet. We do, some of our oils, they're called vitality oils, and they're labeled that they can be ingested. Actually, about 98% of our oils can be ingested. We're the only essential oil company that has a made for internal use line of oils. Just strictly, it's called vitality oils. So if they are not crazy about water, you can put a drop of lemon oil, put a drop of orange oil. We have a citrus fresh blend, which is delicious. Some people like spearmint, some people like peppermint in their water. Whatever, you can jazz it up and make it more refreshing. So that's an idea too. Okay, let's talk about gut health. Do I have this one? I do. I did have it. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Mighty Pro. Mighty Pro is a prebiotic and a probiotic supplement. And it's so fun. And I just love it. And I take it, especially when I travel, because the adult version of our probiotic needs to be refrigerated because it has all the live cultures, all that stuff. So when I travel, it's kind of hard to take. So when I travel, I take the kid one because it's in this little packet and you can just put it under your tongue. It's like a pixie stick. It's so, so yummy. Kids ages 2 and older can take this probiotic, prebiotic. It features over 8 billion active live cultures, especially formulated to support gastrointestinal and digestive immune health in children. So it's great to take at bedtime, like a little pixie stick before they go to bed, and have them brush their teeth. Yeah. Okay. Lotion. We have a lovely Kid Sense lotion. And what's neat about our Kid Sense lotion that's made just for kids is that it has MSM in it. I know. Isn't that crazy? It has all the sulfur in it that the body needs. So the skin absorbs that into the body before it goes to bed. And if you're, again, going back to the skin, if you find that your child is desperately in need of lotion all of the time, they could be dehydrated, or they could be lacking in those healthy fats. So make sure that they get, we have a MindWise, which I'll talk about in a minute, and a green omega-3. Those are really, really great. And again, our Ningxia Red to the rescue. That's a wonderful thing that will help support them. I need my water too. Okay, focus. Let's talk about focus. First of all, don't expect super concentration. That's a little bit high. Most kids, that's a challenge. Oils and nutrients are great. Great for focus, great to help you. Sometimes I've known a lot of people, and I think maybe someone here has done this too with their kids. You can make diffuser bracelets or buy diffuser bracelets with little lava beads or little like hemp, made of hemp or something, and put the oils on the bracelet so that when they go to school, peppermint is wonderful for focus, especially before a test. So they can be smelling it in school. Some schools, you'd have to get, if you sent the oil to school with your kid, it would have to pass through a nurse, I guess. I don't know. That's up to your individual school. But one way to get around that is just to put it on the diffuser bracelet and they have it with them. Lemon and peppermint is great for focus and memory retention. I've heard lots of situations where when you're at home studying for a test, this is what we call anchors. Like you can create anchors with the oils, right? So you're home studying for a test, inhaling a little peppermint gets your mind really clear and focused. You're studying for the test. You're reading all the stuff. It's going in. On test day, when you put peppermint on again, it is connected to that time where you were studying. So it helps you remember all of those things that you were studying when you have the peppermint on when you, I mean, it's amazing. Like there's a connection there. It can really, really help with studies. Genius is actually one of my favorites, and I know I have it here because I love it so much. Okay, it's a Kid Sense oil, right? It's Kid Sense. I don't know, it's getting dark here. I don't know if you can see that. But I love this oil. It smells so good and it supports the brain. That's what it's for. It's for kids, supporting the brain. Great for studying, great for homework. Clarity is another blend that we have. Great on the back of the neck, kind of opens up. I love to diffuse clarity or brain power when I'm doing my taxes or having to do math. Very good oils for that. Vetiver is a really interesting thick oil. It's so interesting. You don't need much. It's a very strong smell, but it actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here, but it has, it helps with extreme focus, people and kids who have focus issues. That's all I'm going to say. And it helps calm whirling thoughts. And you can use a lot of these instead of some medications. Some people can, just saying. And all of these can give you hope. Oils can give you hope. Oils can change the way you perceive things. So use those oils. Let them help you with that. Mindwise that I mentioned before, it comes in a bottle and it comes in a sachet, which is great for kids. Kids 4 and older can use Mindwise. It was created for the mind, keeping the mind and the brain lucid and aware. It has good fatty acids in it. It has CoQ10, has D3. It's great for overall brain health. I take it every single day. Make sure your kids get enough protein. We talked about that. One thing that Courtney said in this class that I listened to, she said, whenever there's an issue, a physical issue, like, mommy, my head hurts, mommy, my tummy hurts, I just feel low energy today. The questions that you ask is, have you had enough water? What's your water intake been? Have you pooped? How's your poop doing? And how much protein have you had? Water, poop, and protein. Good questions to ask when your kids come to you, right? Minerals. We are so mineral deficient as a society. Almost every problem can go back to mineral deficiency. Focus issues, skin issues. It's getting more and more difficult to get good minerals in our foods. We do have a supplement for that. It's called Mineral Essence. I have just begun loving this supplement, you guys. I've got to be honest with you. It's a dropper. It's a liquid. It's a little bit odd tasting. That's all I can say. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I was on that end. I could not figure out how to take it. And everybody was saying, you must take it. It's so important. I'm like, great. I want to. I don't know how. Now I know how. So if you want to take it, ask me. There's lots of ways to take it and make it taste good. One way is taking it with your Ningxia Red and adding a little sulfurzyme, which is a powder that we have that's great for the joints. Anyway, it's very sweet, so it works. But Mineral Essence is a wonderful, wonderful product that we have. Bath time, sleep. Okay, sleep is so important. The kids, we do not want them to get sleep deprived. Most children don't get enough rest, so that's really important for us as parents to honor that and emulate it. Oh my gosh, are you getting enough sleep? Maybe we need to focus on our bedtime rituals first and then work on their bedtime rituals. So good bedtime rituals, a bath. You know how, well, some of you have littles, I guess, but when my kids were little, that was a no-brainer. We gave them a bath at night, right? We gave them a bath at night. I am just getting back into that, you guys. I am loving taking a shower in the evening. I haven't done that in years. I am sleeping so much better. There's something about that bath, that shower that deregulate. I mean, I don't know what it does, but it gets you in that zone. It relaxes your muscles and the warmth, it just gets you ready for bed. Um, so shampoo, we've talked about shampoo, bath soap, so important, what you're putting on their skin. You want to make sure that they are getting really healthy stuff and no chemicals, because that can just really mess with them. One thing to do, um, we sell lots of bath gels, and we have a wonderful Kids Sense bath gel. It's wonderful. It's lovely. But if you have more than one child, and or you have a child that is very indecisive, or maybe I shouldn't say indecisive, maybe I should say a child who likes a lot and many, many, many things. Um, One way to handle that, we sell a bath and shower gel base, unscented. And you could just buy the unscented bath gel and then get little containers. And depending on the mood of your child, or depending on your child, if you've got different children with different scents that they like, some might like peppermint and like to be like energized, or some might want lavender, or some might want orange, so you can alter the scent even every single night if you wanted to. So it's really a lovely, I hadn't really thought about that, but our Kids Sense bath gel is lovely too. And maybe that will just do it. Um, but that's a great way to handle that. So repetition is really important, right? And creating rituals. When we're done, if you guys want, and I might just call out my friend Jen, I see that she's here. She's been oiling her child since he was a baby, and she has lovely bedtime rituals with her son. And I love her to share that, maybe at the end if she's up for it, and if you guys want to hear that, because it's the rituals are so important. And when we have oils become part of that ritual, what you're doing is you're creating that memory for them, so that when they go off to college, when they're married with kids, and they smell that lavender oil that you put on their feet every single night when they were a child, they're going to feel loved. They're going to feel comforted. They're going to have so many amazing memories associated with that scent. It's just such a loving thing that you can do for your kids right now. It's amazing. So some bedtime oils, let me just throw out some bedtime oils that you might want to think about. Peace and Calming. You can tell by the name what it's for. One of my favorites in the whole wide world. It smells lovely. Cedar wood, that's a single oil, and it's great for relaxation. And you might want to mix them together. Peace and Calming and cedar wood are wonderful together, or you can just have them individually. Sleepy Eyes, which we've already talked about, love it. I think we talked about it. I love this. This is a Kids Sense. Again, this is created for kids for sleeping. Wonderful, wonderful oil. Again, vetiver, we talked about vetiver, which was good for focus, great to calm you down before bed. Tranquil is a roll-on. It's a lovely roll-on, and it's easy for kids to do themselves. They can just roll it on right before bedtime, and I love Tranquil. It has cedar wood, Roman chamomile, and lavender. Just three things, and it smells great. Very, very relaxing. And Unwind, I love this. I take this when I travel too. So Unwind is a packet. And I went on my trip to New York. So it's a packet like this. Again, it's like a pixie stick. And this is great for kids who maybe struggle to calm themselves, or it's like really hard to get into the sleep mode. This is a wonderful thing to take right before bedtime. And I just have to give a shout out to one of our newest product. The Imu gummies, so good. I'm going to show you what they look like. You take 2 every day. This would be a great thing before they go to school. Give them 2 of these. And I think at ages 4 and up, you take these, okay? This is what one looks like. Can you see? I don't know. Can you see that? It's so good. I think it tastes like candy. It's hard for me to just take 2. But all you need is 2 every day, and that boosts your immune system. It's really, really good. And kids would love that because it's a gummy. So I'm gonna close now and come back to all of you and take questions. And there's a lot more we could get into. But before I close off and stop this recording, I just want to congratulate all of you and say to you, good job. You're doing a great job. You getting emotional. You are your child's parent for a reason. You know your child better than anyone. You know what they need. You know what they need. Trust your instincts, trust your heart, and just be there for them. Encourage them to feel into themselves, creating that safe space for them. You've got this. This is a really hard job. One of my best friends told me when I was going through, the teen years with my kids, she said, Sherry, parenting isn't for sissies. You just, it's a tough job. And guess what? You're up for it. I know you are. You've got this. And I am here for you if you need any help or suggestions for anything that might make that pathway a little bit easier. So thank you. Please, those of you who are live right now, please stay on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the recording and I'm going to come back to you. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, friends.